The Donner Party route from Springfield, Illinois to Sutter's Fort, California went from 1846 to 1847. They started out on April 16, 1846, in Springfield, Illinois. The Donner Party departed with 32 men, women, and children in 9 covered wagons. In Independence, Missouri, on May 12th, they stopped to purchase the essentials for their long journey. They officially began their trip at Independence, Missouri, the primary starting point for pioneers traveling the Oregon and California trails. In Fort Laramie, Wyoming, on James 4th, James Clyman, a friend of James Reed, strongly urged Reed and the rest of his group to avoid the Hastings Cutoff and to continue on the regular wagon trail. On July 18th, the original wagon train from Springfield, Illinois splits. A majority of the group takes the northern route along the California Trail, but the Donner Party begins the untested Hastings cutoffs in hopes of a faster, smoother route, a decision that will prove fatal for many members of the party. George Donner is elected the leader of the group. At Fort Bridger, Wyoming, on July 30th, the Donner Party arrives at Fort Bridger, expecting to meet up with Lansford Hastings so he can lead them through the Hastings Cutoff. However, upon their arrival, they find only a note from Hastings stating that he has gone ahead with the other immigrants to California, and that the Donner Party should catch up with them. In Echo Canyon, Utah, on August 5th, the Donner Party finds a note left by Hastings. The note informs the group that the canyon ahead is virtually impassable. Instead, Hastings instructs the Donner Party to take a trail through the Salt Basin. At this point, the Donner Party is 74 people strong in 20 wagons. In Humboldt River, Nevada, on October 5th, after Reed murders one of the drivers in an attempt to have more food for the group, the rest of the group votes to banish him. The Hastings Cutoff was the shortcut taken by the Donner Party that led to them getting trapped in several feet of snow. Of all the members of the Donner Party, including those who joined along the route, only 45 people make it to California alive, to Fort Sumter. Many of the survivors had to be rescued by the members who arrived at Sutter's Fort earlier. On the 31st of last month, within 3 miles of the summit, we turned back because the snow was so deep we were unable to find the road. We turned back to the shanty on the lake. Stanton came one day after we arrived here, and we again took our teams and wagons and made another unsuccessful attempt to cross in company with Stanton. We returned to this shanty, it continuing to snow all the time. We now have killed most part of our cattle, and we have to stay here until next spring and live on poor beef without bread or salt. It's still snowing now. It's about 3 feet deep. I killed my last oxen today, and I will skin them tomorrow. It's hard to get wood. The snow is about 5.5 or 6 feet deep now. It's still difficult to get wood. All of the group's cattle are killed but 3 or 4 of them. Stanton's mules and horses are lost in the snow, and there's no hopes of finding them alive. Noah went to Dono's 8 days ago, and they still haven't returned yet. I think they got lost in the snow. May we, with God's help, spend the coming year better than the past, which we purpose to do if Almighty God will deliver us from our present dreadful situation. Those that went to Sutter's have not yet returned. Provisions are getting very scant. People are getting weak. We're living on short allowances of hides. John and Edward went to Graves this morning. The Graves seized Mrs. Reed's goods until they would be paid, and also took the hides that she and the family had to live on. Peggy is very uneasy, for fear we shall all perish with hunger. We have but little meat left, and only part of 3 hides. Miss Reed's has nothing but 1 hide left. We shot Towser today and dressed his flesh. Miss Graves came here this morning to borrow meat. They think I have meat to spare, but I know the contrary. They have plenty of hides, and I live principally on the same. The Donnos told the California folks that they commenced to eat the dead people 4 days ago. If they did not succeed that day or the next in finding their cattle, then under 12 feet of snow. 10 men arrived this morning from Bear Valley with provisions. We are to start in 2 or 3 days for Fort Sutters. They say that the snow will be here until June.